Okay, so just continuing, or now I want to do the 90 degrees clockwise to this example on page M170. So M171 and M170, I just added a part to the table that says 90 degrees clockwise. So I'm going to go back to this original, which I've already drawn on patty paper. So again, draw your X and Y axis, and then draw your figure. So now I'm going to go 90 degrees clockwise. So remember, we did counter, and that was the one in green. Sorry, that was probably really loud. I apologize. I dropped my pen on my computer. And then, so clockwise is going to be in blue. So clockwise, think about moving up in numbers along. So blue is clockwise. Okay, so here we go. So now if I look at that, I'm going to rotate 90 degrees, and then I'm going to mark my points. I already have holes in my paper, so it makes it a little bit easier to mark the points, because I'm just marking through the patty paper. Okay. And then remember, you need to know for sure which letters each of them are. So I kind of like to set my paper the same direction. So I know this is A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, and D double prime. Okay, now let's write those points down. So A double prime is at 6, 1. B double prime is at 4, -2. C double prime is just straight down, so it would be 0, -3. D double prime is 2, 0. Okay, so again, we're going to look at the points, and we're going to just mark this out, and right down here we're going to write 90 degrees clockwise. And what do we notice? So 90 degrees clockwise. So if you look at the numbers again. Don't worry about the value or the negatives. So 1, 6, 6, 1, 2, 4, 4, 2, 3, 0, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0. So again, the numbers switched. The original x value. So let's look at the original x value. So the original x value was -1. Now it's +1. +2, -2, 3, -3, 0, 0. Now remember, 0, even if I said that it was changing signs, 0 doesn't have a sign, so it can't be -0. So negative became positive, positive became negative, positive became negative, and then 0 probably did the same thing that we're going to notice. So the original x changed signs. Let's look at the original y. The original y value, notice 6, 6, 4, 4, 0, 0, 2, 2. So the original y value stayed the same. Okay, so when it was 90 degrees clockwise, the numbers switched, just like they did in counterclockwise, but the opposite one changed. So we're going to write that on our page in 173. So then it became y -x. Though x value is the one that changed this time. So opposite. So then it became y, -x. So this one was clockwise. This one is counter, that's 90 degrees. 90 degrees. And then this one was 180 degrees. Okay, so I know that those are a little bit hard. We're going to write this in our notebook, and the reason I like to write it in my notebook is because sometimes sometimes you don't know where to go back to in your actual textbook to get to this information. So that's why I like to write it in your notebook. So then it would be negative y, comma, x for counterclockwise. Clockwise is, oops, that pen doesn't work. Let me grab another pen. Y, comma, negative x. And then green, where is my green? I'll just use my extra marker. Would be negative x, comma, negative y. So notice it changed both of them to the opposite sign. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this example. So if we're going to take this point and we're going to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. So you're going to A prime, you're going to switch, notice the x and the y switched, so I'm going to write 6, comma, oops, I don't know why I put that comma so far over, and then 1. And then decide about the signs. So notice the original x stayed x. Doesn't mean it has to be positive, it's just saying that it stayed the same. So x stayed x, and then this y, notice, is the opposite sign. That's why that negative y. So I'm going to put negative x. Okay, let's do the same thing for this b. So I'm going to go counterclockwise. So remember, that's going this direction. So if I'm at 2, 4, and I went counterclockwise, I'm going to switch y and x. So I'm going to do 4, comma, 2. And then I'm going to decide about the signs. So the only one that changes is negative, or is 4 becomes the opposite sign, which is negative 4. Okay, let's do rotate 90 degrees clockwise. So again, go back to the original. So this would be a double prime. Oops, I wanted to do it a different color. A double prime. So they switched. So notice it would be 6. And then I'm going to put negative 1 here. I'm going to put it and then I'm going to show you something. So 6, comma, negative 1. Now notice our thing says opposite of x. So the opposite of a negative 1, the opposite of a negative 1 is a positive 1. So if you go ahead and just write the whole value 6, comma, negative 1, and then it shows you that it's opposite, so then you put a negative. Let's do b prime. Oops, my blue pen is going out. Dang it, why are all my blues not liking me? B double prime. So then switch them, so it'd be 4, comma, 2. And then the only one that changes is 2. Okay, let's do this one. So a triple prime. Notice it's x, y still. X, y. So they don't change. So I'm going to write negative 1, comma, 6. But notice they're both negative or both opposite. So I'm going to change this negative to a positive, and this one is positive, so I'm going to make it negative. Okay, then b triple prime, 2, 4. The order doesn't change. Both of them change signs, so they'd both be negative 2, negative 4. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's write a little note under this. And we're going to just write this same note that we wrote over here. So 90 degrees counterclockwise, numbers switched, and the original y changes signs. Okay, this one, so 90 degrees clockwise, numbers switched, and original X changes sign. Okay, rotate 180 degrees, both signs change. So again, you can memorize these rules, or you can just use patty paper every single time. It is completely up to you. Okay? I'm going to do one more example and then we will be done. Okay, so we're going to do number 2. So it says graph by plotting the points 3, 4. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I left my marker open and now it's dried out. Let me close all my markers real quick. Hopefully it's not loud. Okay, so 3, 4. I'll just use brown. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, apparently this paper is too slick. Not liking any of my colors. 6, 1, and 4, 9. So it's just a triangle. Okay, so notice we're going to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. Brown is so light. And I'm just going to keep marking it until it goes all the way through. Okay, so this first one, we're going counterclockwise. And actually, I'm going to try to do it without the patty paper first. I'm going to use the rules. So 90 degrees counterclockwise. Look at your notebook. Counterclockwise. Switch, number switched, original Y changes. So counterclockwise, that's the pink if you like to follow along with the colors I use. So it would be 4, 3. And since I say, then the Y changes. The original Y, so then it needs to become -4. Okay, B double prime, 1, 6. The original Y value becomes negative, or changes sign. C prime, it would be 9, 4. The original Y changes values. So see how I did that using the rules, and it kind of goes a lot quicker, but it's just a matter of you're going to have to memorize it. So counterclockwise should be like that. A should be at -4, 3. That's correct. B prime should be, which B was that one. No, that one. So that was B. So then B is now at -1, 6. And this was C, was at -9, 4. Okay. Let's do the next one. So 90 degrees clockwise, it says number switch, original X changes sign. So A double prime, 4, 3, original X, so this one changes. B double prime, switch, original X changes signs. C double prime, switch, original X changes signs. So that's why that one is the way it is. Okay, then the last one, 180 degrees. So our rule for 180 degrees is both signs change. No switching or anything else, just change the sign. So it'd be -3, -4. B double prime or triple prime would be -6, -1. C triple prime would be -4, -9. So again, follow those rules. I promise you, I did that a whole lot quicker than it would have been if I would have kept writing all, like rotating, drawing the point, finding the point, and then writing it down. But let's check just to make sure. So it should be, for the one that went 90 degrees clockwise, A should be at 4, -3, perfect. 1, -6, 9, -4. Okay, when we went 180 degrees, which is one more turn, A would be at -3, -4. B is at -6, -1. And then we're at -4, -9. Okay, so that is, we're not going to do 3 just because I feel like this video is taking a long time as well. So we stopped right there, or we're going to stop right there.